Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, do you ever feel that you find it really hard to be productive, or you're trying to improve your well-being or your money management, but it's just going down the drain? We've all been there, right? Don't worry about it. In today's video, we're going to be chatting about habit stacking, how it's different to multitasking, how you can improve your daily schedule and be a better version of yourself. Now, habit stacking, you may not have heard this term before, right? And I didn't realize I was actually doing it and didn't realize there was an actual phrase on it until I was researching for this video, right? But what habit stacking is if you want to implement a new habit, like let's say you want to take multivitamins every day, right? But you keep forgetting or you can't be bothered, right? If you link it with another habit that you already have, like brushing your teeth. So every time you brush your teeth, you take a multivitamin. That's a new habit that you've attached onto another habit. So it's habit stacking. And you might be like, Jodie, is that not just multitasking, right? No, multitasking is slightly different. So let's say you're writing an email to a coworker and you're also having a conversation with someone. That is multitasking. And in that situation, you might be making mistakes in your email. Have you done this when someone says a word, they're talking about Bali and then you start to write about Bali? It's because you can't necessarily do those two things at once, right? You'll make mistakes, it's a little bit more stressful, and you're trying to do too many things at once there. So multitasking often reduces effectiveness, whereas habit stacking is different. It's more intentional, more structured, and more sustainable. So it's doing things together rather doing things at the same time, if that makes sense. Let's go into our first example so you know what I'm talking about, right? So the first habit stacking idea, which I actually do an awful lot, is to have my morning breakfast and to write in my journal, okay? So every morning here, I sit in the other corner of my apartment, right? And I love tea, right? I'll have a cup of tea, just like this cup here, because I'm a tea addict. And I would sit down here, enjoy my tea, and then I'll just start writing. So I might write maybe about YouTube stuff because it's on my mind, or I might just write how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a bit stressed, it usually helps to write stuff down, right? Or else I just make a bit of a plan for today. You know, if today is Monday, what are the main things I need to do? Usually not work related. When I journal, I like to do things just like for my personal self or for this, business of a YouTube channel, okay? I really enjoy doing these videos, but of course you have to make a bit of a plan for the day, especially when you work a 9 to 5 like mine. You have to plan your day out to be like, okay, when can I record? When can I edit? When can I talk to the new editor who's helping me? All those kind of things, you have to make a bit of a plan. But also journaling is great for just writing down your thoughts. If you're feeling stressed, sometimes you're not really sure why. And then once you pick up a pen, you'll soon find out the reason as to why you're stressed. It's actually really impressive how you can just immediately fix out your emotions when you write stuff down. So number 2 then is to link your daily commute with an educational podcast, right? So every day when I'm working from home, I always either walk around the block for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, right? And on that walk, I try not to look at a screen, but I always listen to something educational or something like, business focused, right? So for me lately, I've been listening to Layla Hormozi, but she's been one of the main reasons as to why I've joined this YouTube channel, because I just realized, we might as well just go for these things. Another person is Ali Abdal, again a YouTuber who I listen to but don't necessarily watch on my walk. So do you guys have any really good educational podcasts you guys can share down below? Just a side note on that actually, this is not sponsored, but Headway, the app, is really good actually. And what it does is it summarizes books in like 10 minutes. So if I can't find something on YouTube to listen to that's educational, I will of course listen to something on Headway. Without fail, I use it like 3 times a week, if not more. The third thing then is to link your lunch break with a mindful spending tracker. It doesn't necessarily have to be every lunchtime, but maybe it's every lunchtime on a Monday, right? You just sit down for 15 minutes while you're eating your lunch and look at what you've spent in the last week. If you really connect with where your money is going, you can of course save some of that chunk of money that you spent on frivolous things that you didn't even realize you were spending on, okay? So recently I created a budget template for you guys. I'll pin it down below. So I use a budget tracker every week. So for example, if I had a budget of £100 for food out in London, right? Because I like to eat, okay? And if I've realized, okay, I'm 2 weeks in and I've already spent £70 of my £100 budget, okay, I kind of have to assess, okay, do I have other events coming up for the rest of the month? Have I overspent there, or is that okay? Do I only have one other breakfast meeting and I know it's going to be £15, so I'm not going to go over my monthly budget? It's just literally putting a few minutes of thought into where your money is gone. It can really help you underspend and save the difference, or else, of course, be in line with your budget tracking. So number 4 then is your evening wind down and digital declutter. So let's say you finished work, right? You've landed on the couch right here. Instead of just, mindlessly being on Netflix for the next 4 hours, right? You can, of course, just do a little bit of a declutter on your phone. So how many times do you get a notification to say, oh my God, your storage is nearly full because you've so much crap on your phone, right? Happens to me a lot, right? So I do a bit of a digital declutter, just delete things I've downloaded, and also just do a bit of a cast dry over the apps on your phone, right? If you have apps on there that you downloaded and you've only used once in the last 6 months, maybe just get rid of them, because the less things you have on your phone as a distraction, the more of a benefit it will be for yourself. So not only is it more of a minimalist view, it'll help declutter your mind as well. So number 5 is your weekly cleaning and item donation, right? So the next time you're doing your flat clean or house clean, right, why don't you have a little box by your front door? So as you're cleaning your flat and going through your wardrobe or going through the bathroom stuff, anything you think you want to donate, you put in that box by the front door. So it's just a way to be a bit more intentional, to get rid of stuff, but also to make sure that every time you clean your house, you get rid of something that you don't actually need to use. The next tip is your exercise regime, plus also a financial audiobook in your ear. So I recently joined Pure Gym, and it's literally like £36 a month. It's so cheap, so affordable, because I'm trying to get into weights again because I'm scrawny AF, right? But anyway, the last time I went to the gym, which was last night, I also either listen to a audiobook or Headway app, which I mentioned before, which is a really good summary of books, right? Or else I listen to something that's, motivational. So not just music, okay? And you don't have to do this every time you go to the gym, but maybe it's every time you do weights at the gym, right? You have that habit of, I'm going to listen to a financial audiobook every time I do weights, or I'm going to listen to a motivational speaker every time I do weights. I guarantee you it will boost your mood. I felt I was on a high last night after the gym, even though it was quite late by the time I got back, right? But if you're listening to words of, encouragement and motivation, you will start to grow as a person, and of course grow your guns too. The next one is an absolute big killer for most people who don't do this, right? And it's to have your grocery shopping linked with a meal plan list. It's so simple, but sometimes we fall into that thing where we go food shopping when we're hungry and we just throw biscuits, crisps, all the sweet stuff into our cart because we're like, oh my God, I'm starving, I would love all these sweet things, right? But that's terrible. Please don't fall into that pit, because all your money will just disappear. We've all been there, right? But if you have a bit of a meal plan for yourself before you go grocery shopping, you can, of course, save an awful lot of money and, of course, eat healthier food. Write the list of ingredients you'll need for those meals, right? You will, of course, that way stay within your budget, not overspend on things, reduce the waste in your fridge. Like, how many times have you guys thrown away so much food because you've just overbought when you're grocery shopping, right? So making a meal plan list will, of course, help you build up a better habit there for yourself and eat healthier and save money. It's a win-win-win situation. The next one is your bedtime routine and reflection. Okay, that's really hard to say. There's a lot of R's there, right? But this can be, a journal like in the morning time, or it can literally just be in your mind. So every time you brush your teeth right before bed, maybe think about the day that you've just had. What were the 3 best things that happened that day? If you are a bit more reflective and not just always thinking of the future, you can of course help yourself out there for the next day. And even if it's just 3 minutes in your mind, you're just saying those things out loud even, it will really help boost you up. And actually, if you're feeling a bit rubbish, reminding yourself of even small wins of that day can boost up your mood as well. The next one is television time and decluttering. So before you go to bed, right, you could sit down here on this lovely couch. So right before I sit down, I might just take 2 minutes of my time to tidy up this section of the flat, and then I can sit down and watch a lovely movie. But if you do a habit stacking like that, every time you sit down on the couch, you'll be a little bit more aware of the clutter that's around you, and just take literally 2 minutes of your time to tidy it up. But the 2-minute rule can help you in every part of your life. I tend to do this, if I'm feeling a little bit tired at the weekend, but I know I need to tidy up, I say to myself, right, what is going to take me 2 minutes? And if it just takes me 2 minutes, I will do it right now. So for example, emptying the dishwasher, right? I timed myself doing that and it took me about 1 minute and 45 seconds, right? So every time I see there's dishes in the sink, I say to myself, okay, this is literally going to take me 2 minutes of my time to do the dishes and make it look a lot prettier and declutter that section of the kitchen, right? So if you have 2 minutes, find out the little jobs in your home that take 2 minutes And then when you see it, you become less overwhelmed because you know it's only going to take you a teeny bit of your time. The next habit stacking is social media check-ins and financial check-ins together. So every time you pick up your phone, right, my imaginary phone, and you're going to go onto Instagram, after you've finished scrolling on Instagram, you should link it to the habit of checking your banking app, okay? Now, if you are a serial, social media person and you go on 5 times a day, it will actually reduce the amount of times you go on. Because if you know you have to go on your banking app every time you open Instagram, you're not going to go on Instagram as much, right? So it'll help you out there. But if you check your banking app every time you open up Instagram, for example, you will have a better understanding as to where your money has gone that week, right? What you've spent money on that you maybe shouldn't have. And also, you will notice any kind of credit card spending you have on there or any bad habits that you've picked up over time. So when you link something joyous like Instagram to something that was a bit daunting, like looking at your bank statement, right? It will, reduce the anxiety about looking at those things. They're not that scary. It's just things that you have done. So which of the habit stacking do you guys do right now? Let me know down below. If you don't do any of them, which one do you think you'll pick up that is more relevant to your life? I'll pop 2 videos here if you found this one useful. These will be even more useful on your financial well-being journey. But thanks for joining me here in this tiny little corner beside my massive microphone. And I tend to do 2 videos a week, so if this one has been helpful, give it a subscribe. That'd really help the channel out and help me grow, hopefully. But until then, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye!